the anti-role model? Anti-role model is about showing you what not to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. So the anti-role models, which is a new one. This is the third type. Unlocking. Sometimes
we needed it. The rule of threes.
Sometimes I think, just give too much away. I don't know. Some of this we gotta. G2, put a paywall behind this.
This should be paid. The rest of this podcast is gonna be $6.99.
Just give it
subscription.
Free all the time.
Free.
But I'll give you the anti-role model because I love the peoples.
Okay.
So the anti-role models is you want to know what behaviors don't lead. This is kind of inversion. This is basically Charlie Munger's inversion. So Charlie Munger's inversion, what he says is, look, if you have a goal in mind, you want to get to this. G2 wants to be some muckety-muck, big time. If you want to be the muckety-muck, what you want to do is invert and say, not what will it take for me to be the muckety-muck, or what do you want to be, G2? World famous director.
Casey Neistat.
Casey Neistat.
Yeah.
He wants to be Casey Neistat.
Yeah.
So instead of saying, what are the steps that I need to do, because those are hard to predict, to be Casey Neistat, you say the opposite. You invert. You say, what are the things that if I do, I know I will definitely never be Casey Neistat? And then you go down that list. And then you can basically come out with a list of things that you should never do, never pursue, because they will never lead you to your goal. And so the anti-role model is this. It's like, okay, find the people who are exhibiting the traits that never lead to the thing that you want, right? So like people who may say, in this case, let's say you wanted to be Casey Neistat. People who may tell you for years that they want to be Casey Neistat, but they've never made any progression towards it. Yeah. And so you take that group of people, create this anti-role model group, and say, what is in common with those people? I'd say the universal one that Charlie Munger says always is going to be in the anti-role model when you invert is laziness and sloth, right? Like if you don't put in any work, you're just a sloth. I think he calls it something else, but it's
I love that because then that gives you somewhere to build, right? So in the Casey Neistat example, it's like Casey was not lazy, he was not a sloth. He created 10 videos every single week.
Okay, he didn't wait for permission.
Yep. You can start to make this little recipe book of like, okay, here are the guardrails, right? Yeah. Like if you've ever tried, one of the things that I like that you do is like when we try to solve a problem, you go up on the whiteboard and you write the guardrails, right? And this is almost like anti-role models is the guardrails.
Totally.
Okay? In order to like, we talk about this with pricing a lot, right? When you guys are creating new pricing, you always write like, has to be simple, has to be customer friendly.
Yep.
And so that then gives you some framework to like how you're going to write out the pricing.
Yeah, there's so many things in the Casey Neistat example, like with the young G2 being a Casey Neistat, wanting to be it, that most people would fall into. What are the things that Casey Neistat doesn't do? He doesn't obsess around equipment, right? He doesn't care. He doesn't care. He often makes it a point to say the equipment doesn't matter, right? Like he doesn't care about how he looks or how he comes across, right? Like there's all these things that usual people who want to do that kind of work. G2 is not one of these people, but one of those people get caught up in equipment, caught up in the way that they look, not want to do anything embarrassing, wait for them to be selected into some fancy whatever.
Yeah. Wait for ideas. He has ideas. He could make a video about a notebook, right? Yes. It could be anything.
And it's all about storytelling, right? Those are the things that are correlated with it.
Oh, you got there all the way because of inversion.
Yes, inversion and the anti-role models.